Quiet Ambition, Issue 10. The Quiet Story. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Most people remember the number. Fewer stop to think about what happened inside it. Prison could dictate where he slept, what he wore, what he ate, and when he saw daylight. It could take his freedom, his career, and decades of his life. What it couldn't do was decide who he became while he was in there. When he eventually walked out, he later reflected that he understood something in that moment. Carrying his bitterness with him out the door would mean he was still, in every way that mattered, not free. That is sovereignty, not control over your circumstances, control over your authorship. We won't dwell on Mandela any longer than that, because this issue was never really about him. It's about you, and about a season that has been building toward this exact idea since issue 1. We questioned ambition that wasn't ours. We found that burnout is often boredom wearing a more respectable name. We took apart the myth that confidence has to arrive before action. We examined the permission we've spent years waiting for. We named the identity debt that comes from living inside someone else's approval. Every one of those issues was pointing here. Not toward becoming a better version of yourself. Toward becoming the person who decides what better even means. The insight the highest form of ambition was never another promotion, another qualification, another milestone to collect. It's self-authorship, the ability to tell the difference between a life you built and a life you inherited, and to keep choosing the former on purpose. Most people don't lose that authorship dramatically, they surrender it quietly. A sensible career, a reputation for being dependable, goals borrowed from people they admired at 25, opinions absorbed from a family, an industry, a culture that never once asked who they actually were. None of it feels like loss at the time. It feels like progress. The quiet disconnect. From the outside, this often looks like the picture of a life going well. The title is impressive. The calendar is full. The achievements are real. From the inside, something quieter is happening. A sense that you've become exceptionally skilled at meeting expectations that stopped being yours a long time ago. You didn't fail. You outsourced authorship, one reasonable decision at a time, until the life in front of you felt strangely unfamiliar. The quiet choice. Before your next meaningful decision, pause and ask one question. Would I still choose this if nobody expected it of me? If the answer holds, you've found alignment. If it wavers, you've found exactly the place where your authorship is waiting to be reclaimed. The quiet rebellion. The rebellion here isn't loud. It doesn't look like walking away from your career or rejecting success outright. That's just a different script borrowed from a different audience. The real rebellion is smaller and harder to perform for anyone else. It's privately retiring one expectation you've been meeting on autopilot, and replacing it with a decision that's actually yours, even if no one else notices the difference. The quiet beginning. You don't need to overhaul your identity this week. You need one decision, however small, made from your own values, instead of someone else's applause. Sovereignty isn't a single dramatic exit, it's a habit, built one authored choice at a time. The quiet ambition exercise. Take 5 minutes and write down the 3 expectations currently shaping your decisions most heavily. About your career, your relationships, or your definition of success. Next to each one, note where it came from. A parent, an industry norm, a former version of you that no longer applies. You're not being asked to abandon any of them. You're being asked to notice which ones are yours by choice, and which ones simply arrived by default. The quiet mantra. I am not obligated to keep the version of success I never chose. The quiet reflection. Achievement can build a remarkable life. Alignment can make that life feel meaningful. But sovereignty is what lets you finally call it your own. That was always where quiet ambition was leading. The quiet conversation. Where in your life right now are you performing a script instead of writing one? And whose voice does it actually belong to? Found yourself in this one? Repost it for someone who's quietly outgrown a script they never chose. Or book a spark session to identify your sovereign self. Follow the quiet ambition for the rest of Season 1.